Hey guys, it's Skybert, and today we're going to be taking a look at two Rahi. One of these is fairly new, while the other one is an older Rahi that I've actually mentioned in a previous video, but I don't believe that I've actually shown. So we're going to start with that one here, and it is this guy. This is an alternate build for the Master Builder set. If you guys aren't familiar with that set, it's basically like a little Rahi builder's dream that came out way back in 2002. It contains just enough pieces to build any one of 15 different Rahi, or of course the parts to build your own. So I designed this guy here. And so this is a large vulture build. In fact, one of the larger possible bird type builds you can build from that lot of pieces. And I'm really happy with it overall because I was actually able to pack a pretty fun function in this build as well. So you have this tail here, which sort of acts as a handle, and a little trigger mechanism here. And what happens is when you actually press the trigger, the wings will flap. But that's not the only thing that it's doing, because you'll notice that the legs sort of come forward as well, which you can somewhat see as sort of like a punching function, right? But what's really nice about it is it can actually grab onto Matoran, right? So it'll actually close up around their mask, and it's a really secure hold as well, which is really nice. Of course, my very willing volunteer Jowler is now blind, but he's very happy to be carried off to his next location. So you can see this as sort of like a Rahi that kidnaps Matoran and takes him away, or kidnaps whatever, right, and different items and stuff. Or you could see it as sort of like a good Rahi, like the Kehu and stuff, being used to drop Rahi in battle or something, right? So sort of like part of the Gaku Guard entourage. I don't know what else to call it. So I'm really happy with this design overall. And what's nice about it is if you don't want it to be displayed in this upright position, you can very easily just remove these rubber bands entirely, and then it will sit in a perched position where the wings, the claws, the tail kind of all touch the ground at the same point, and it gives you that sort of high shoulder, low neck aesthetic that's kind of traditional for vulture-like builds. And you see I sort of enforce that vulture build with the claw or hooked beak and this foot in the front here as well. The other nice thing about this is that it does actually include the mask in the build, since not all of the Rahi in the official set do that. In fact, only 2 do. But in this case, the mask actually plays an important role, because without the mask there, the wings can actually go too high, and that can actually disable the function. Not really an intended side effect, but still a really cool thing nonetheless. So having the mask in place essentially acts as sort of a stopper for the function and prevents it from going any higher than that point, which is at its highest point anyway in terms of its travel, right? So really happy with the design of this guy. But moving on to the next one, we have a little Rahi, which is this little bat right here. So yeah, it's not the most exciting Rahi in the world, but I really like having small creatures that sort of fill out the island as well. And this one sort of plays an important role in a bit of a challenge that I'm doing for myself. So one of the things that I've sort of set aside as a background project is to try and create as many of the Rahi from the Bionicle 2003 game as possible, at least the ones that didn't get official representations or that deviate from their official representation, right? And so I've done this with several of the Rahi already, but I couldn't do this without the YouTube channel Hexadecimal Mantis, who in their own time and for the past several years has basically been like decompiling that game and like putting different Rahi in, not in the game itself, or maybe, I don't know, but at least like unlocking features in the game that we never saw publicly, right? Or putting old Rahi that were cut back into like the menu and stuff so you can kind of see them. And one of the Rahi that were cut, as far as I'm aware, I don't recall seeing it, was a small bat Rahi. Now, the actual like images of it in the actual menu are very low quality, low polygon, because like I said, if it was cut from the game, it's not likely that Lego did a whole lot more work on it, and so we don't see much of it. So I designed this with a decent amount of creative liberty. But that said, I did want to stay true to some of the shaping from the set as well, so including the ears, like this sort of pointed sideways, this sort of triangular like build where it's you know, kind of angled front to back like that, and even having legs in the back, in this case in the form of these little ratchet lift arms, which I think work out quite well and can also sort of lock the wings in an upward position. So the wings can move, but they're just loosely pivoting, so you can flap it by just moving your hand around. It's not really designed to be flapped or have any sort of function. But I did go out of my way to add these little fangs on the front here. It wasn't something that was necessary, but since I already wanted to use eyes that were a different color from the body, being a black body, I chose white, and I figured, well, since Lego came out with these longer white pin axles recently, I might as well use those, because that will give me these fangs at the base and the little white eyes. I thought it was really cute, and it worked out quite well. And it does. So I'm really happy with this design. Of course, if you guys like these Rahi, let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. That sentence hardly made sense. Anyway, and of course, if you want to check out my Discord, my link will be in the description. Apparently, I need to stop recording. My brain is telling me. But anyway, make sure to like and subscribe, because it does help the channel out a lot. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.